Hello everyone, and welcome back to Technically Unsure, where I'm not really sure what I'm doing technically.
I'm sorry, I'm in a big dumbass. Sorry.
Quick note, I have been getting emails from various companies to review their products. So far, for now, I have been rejecting every single one of them. I will give you an example. I got the notice about the Latte Panda Mu. I just said, I just like the board. I would rather pay and buy myself and do whatever I want to do, maybe even don't even record the video. I just wanted to have the freedom to even trash a product if it is trash or praise it if it is good, right? For now, at least so far, I haven't accepted anything. So I'm not gonna change that. Hopefully I won't change that. A couple of days ago, UGREEN reached out and say the same thing. Would you like to review our NAS? And to what I said, I would, but I want to buy. So give me the link, I will purchase, I will buy, I will review, and if it is trash, I will just trash it. To which they said, no, if you order it, it's going to be arriving late. You feel free to say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do, but we are going to send it to you. You don't need to buy it. So just we are clear, okay? I received this along with this. I got 4 980 Samsung 1 terabyte SSDs, which is 7 gigabit per second, right? Gigabyte per second, at least advertised, right? Read speed. And I got this NAS, UGREEN NASync DXP480T Plus. I have not touched it. I have not unboxed it. As you can see, this is just how it arrived. We are going to open this, see what is inside, take a look at it, install everything, try it, speed test, benchmarks, the usual. If it is good, it's good. If it's not good, I will just share what I see. And we are going to do everything together, okay? So let's open this bad boy up. Let's see what is inside. Good packaging. Throw that away, and that away. All right, so this looks like sealed, brand new, never opened before. Yeah, so there is seal. This is the device, the serial number and MAC, and all the specs. So in terms of specs, we are going to talk about it, but while I have it over here, I will tell you. So this one comes with UGREEN OS Pro. Because it is using Intel i5, and I don't think they're using anything to lock it down or prevent anyone from installing any alternative operating systems, we should be able to install TrueNAS or Unbraid or whatever, right? Just keep it in mind, but it comes with UGOS Pro. And processor is Intel i5 1235U, 10 core. I believe the threads are 12. So that's what I remember, hopefully my memory helps. But yeah, 10 cores, 12 threads, DDR5, and as I talked about DDR5 in the previous videos as well, this comes with ECC as well, inline ECC. I think these guys call it ODECC, but it does have ECC, that's the point. And then the RAM, maximum RAM capacity is 64 gigabyte, but I think this is shipped with 8. That's what I remember. I think this should have 8 gigabyte DDR5. The other thing I see here, system storage is 128 gigabytes. So that's the OS storage. That's not what we are going to use for our NAS storage, right? So that's separate and it comes with it. And then there is 4 NVMe SSD 2280, right? So the length 2080 and the width is 22, right? 2280 NVMe SSDs. You can install 4 of them. And I was just doing some math, right? If you go with, I saw some Sabrent 8 terabyte Rocket 4 NVMe Gen 4 SSDs on Amazon. That was like $1,200, okay? So if you buy 4 of those, you're going to pay $4,800, right? And this is $500, okay? $470, $480, but Kickstarter, I think they are out. They ran out of this one. I think they just finished, all sold out. But anyway, long story short, you are going to pay $500, let's say, for this, and $4,800, let's say, for 4 8TB Rocket Sabrent NVMe M.2 SSD. Let's just call it 4900, something like that. 500 for the sorry, bad math. 4800 for the SSD, 500 for this one. So all comes down to 5300. Okay, so 5300, let's call it, and you will have 32TB NVMe SSD NAS, which is also very portable and supposed to be super fast. And this should have 10 gigabit Ethernet. Also, if you go with lower storage, okay, if you go with 4 terabyte storage, 4 terabyte NVMe SSDs are like $500. So 4 times 500, $2,000, plus 500 for this, 2,500. You get 16 terabyte super fast storage, portable. You can carry it in your trips, everywhere, okay? And if you go even lower, then you can get 2 terabyte, like 2 terabyte storage, which is 8 terabyte storage. And then you will have to pay like 200 for each. So 4 times 200, 800, 800 and 500, 1300. So $1,300, and you will get 8 terabyte super fast portable NAS. Okay, just some rough numbers, I'm throwing it out there. Okay, this also comes with, as I said, 10 gigabit Ethernet, plus you get Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E. So Wi-Fi 6E basically supports like 5G and 2G, and speeds are I think like 1,000 something, 1,200, something like that. Don't quote me on that. And then video port, there is an HDMI port which can do up to 8K. I think it is HDMI 2.1, but it doesn't say here. I think I saw it somewhere on their site. It was HDMI 2.1, but we're gonna check. Then the power source is 20 volt, 7 amp. And we are going to see the power consumption as well. So it's a very, on paper, seems to be very fast, and like $500, it's okay. It's portable and it's everything, right? Remember, when we look at a NAS motherboard, it's just the motherboard. You have to consider the cost for the fan, the cooling, and the case, and all that stuff. Will come close to something like this. And none of those motherboards I've reviewed here. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. I just cut this part and it all came out. So this is very easy to dispose, just flat box. That's some origami skills go over here. Wow, that's nice. I don't know, I like it. It's very nice. Okay, all right, let's throw that away. Okay, so this is magnetic. Yeah, here. So this part is magnetic. Yep. What we are seeing here is this, and this is that beautiful NAS. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, right? This, you have to, like, your NAS you buy off like Amazon or AliExpress, like the motherboard will not have this fancy, looks like aluminum, whatever. Yeah, it's solid, it's metal. Yeah, looks nice, and does have fans for cooling, probably proper heat sink and everything. And UGREEN over here, power button over there, and we are going to probably take out this to install NVMe SSD. I'm just guessing, we're gonna see. As you can see, so this is the 10G Ethernet port, okay? There is the audio jack over here, 3.5. There's HDMI 2.1, I think, is there. It can do 8K apparently. This one is USB 3.2. So this is actually can do theoretical rate of 10 gigabit per second. There is also 2 Thunderbolt 4 bandwidth 40 gigabit compatible with USB 4 ports. Okay, keep that in mind. This alone, you can connect additional Thunderbolt external hard disk drives. I've seen some on Amazon, maybe a little bit pricey, but if you want to use it and have use case for it, let's say you are video editing on the go, you're traveling some remote area, you still want to have a super fast storage, so you can carry this around. It's very lightweight. I'm gonna weigh this. Maybe they have it somewhere on their spec page, but I will check and let you know. So it's very lightweight. And then there is reset button, which is like, you know, needle needed. And this is the power jack. So yeah, DC 20 volt. So let's leave that here. Let's see what else is in the box. We get this, which is UGREEN user instruction. Nobody needs that. I mean, I don't need that. And this is over here is the power supply. So yeah, wish it was USB-C. I don't know, I just like USB-C everywhere. So now I have to carry this as well. But if I like if it was USB-C, I could have taken the generic USB-C I take everywhere I go. I could have used that instead of this. But anyway, what else? We also get, oh, this is, I think, the heat. I think I know what it is. This is like the, yeah, thermal pad for the NVMe SSDs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, more than enough. A tiny screwdriver. And then, okay, so they also send, I think, Cat 6 or Cat 6E, because that's 10G. Oh, Cat 7. All right. Yeah, I am not going to use this. I have my own from Unify, so we are gonna go with that. Let's throw that away. End of the box. Okay, nothing else in the box, but I'm gonna keep this as nice, sturdy, magnetic. Yeah. Let's not read the manual and try to figure out on our own, and fail and try again and figure it out.
All right, let's go again.
That's the preferred way of doing things around here. All right, that wasn't hard at all. So if we are installing the NVMe SSDs over here, I'm assuming, yeah, so there are fans over here, right? So this is like a heat sink of some sort. And there is like power connection here. Yeah, there's the pins over there. So yeah, let me show you inside. Okay, so you install 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, connection over there. That's probably to power the fans. Just guessing everything, right? I don't know anything about this, but looks like it. Yeah, it says right here. Yeah, it says fan V0 to whatever. Okay, all right, that's probably for the mobile app. They have, I heard somewhere, I saw it, that they have a mobile app. Okay, let's go into fast forward mode. Let me install the NVMe SSDs and we take it from there. All right, so we did it. Okay, we did it, and let's put this back on, which is this connection over here goes over there. Okay, we'll put this. Okay, after installing the thermal pads, it's a little bit, which is expected. You need to put pressure so it connects very well with the thermal pad. All right, we got it. That was easy.
Come on, man. That's too easy.
Now, let me wire everything up and I will be right back. Okay, so we are back. Everything is wired up. I connected the keyboard and a mouse, okay? And I got the power meter, power consumption meter over there. I have a USB 4 storage connected to it. I want to test the Thunderbolt. But before all that, I want to show you something about the audio. Look. Okay, as you can see, when I'm not talking, the ambient dBA around my room is 45. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm going to stop talking, power it on, and look at the audio, look at the sound and the audio levels, and look at the power consumption. Okay, so power consumption when it's plugged in and it's not up and running is like going between 0 and 1.4, 1.6 watts here and there, okay? So I'm gonna stop talking. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, you get the point. So it is very, very quiet. It is not making any noises. And now it ramped up, actually, it ramped up a little bit. But yeah, that's it. So initially it does some tests, and this is what you're going to get. It tells you to connect directly to UGREEN NAS via the UGREEN NAS app, okay? Now, let's go to our browser, okay? So initially I had some issues, but I figured it out. So as you can see, you just have to go to find.ugnas.com, and there it will find your NAS. And if you click on connect, it will launch the browser screen with your NAS, okay? So initially it's booting, so let's wait for that. As we are waiting for that to boot, let me actually SSH into the box, okay? Okay, so we are now root in the box, but we are in a busy box. So it is potentially some sort of jail, which is expected on proprietary closed source NAS software. So you're going to see the same thing in other NAS, similar NAS devices as well. So let me just that so you see a better. Okay, so let's do a small quick suspense. Okay. Look at that. Power consumption went up to 87, and okay, so this one went up to 55. So plus 10 dBA when you're running, you're putting heavy load on the CPU, and you're going to see that this power consumption jumps up to like 80, and we are getting 30,000 on the CPU sysbench result. And if we do a neofetch, you're going to see that it is Debian 12 based, and this is the CPU, and it does have built-in Intel graphics and 8 GB RAM, okay? And if we do an iPerf test, as you can see, it's going to be 10 gigabit, yep. So we have the 10 gigabit Ethernet connection. Absolutely, it is capping the 10 gigabit Ethernet connection, and it's working fine. And now let's go back to the NAS. It's not loaded yet, so let's keep going. Let's do one more test. Let's do a stress NG. Power consumption for a second jumped to 90, came back to 85. Yeah, so throughout the test, it is staying between 85 to 90 watts. As this one is running, it came down now. And that beep that you just heard is the beep when the NAS is all loaded and ready to go, okay? So that's very nice. So let's say you don't have the HDMI interface, you don't know if your NAS is booted up and it's working, you just need to listen for that beep sound. As soon as you hear it, you're good. And as you can see, we are getting 390,000 on the stress NG. Very, very fast, very good. So far everything is up to expectations, and it's good. And if we go to here, and if you log in, you're going to see that they have this UGREEN OS interface. Very clean, very professional. And once you update the firmware, everything is working. If you don't update the firmware, you're gonna see some issues. You're gonna see some Chinese messages, Chinese characters on the HDMI screen, on the web interface. You won't be able to even shut down or restart because you probably don't know which is which. So anyway, if you do the firmware upgrade, everything starts to work, and the fan issue I was having also, it is gone. So it's all resolved just by the firmware update. And if we go to the file manager, you're going to see that I created a storage. I used the 1, 2, 3, 4 disks, and I created a RAID 5, and I got like 2.6 terabyte storage and 2.7 terabyte. I used some of it, okay? So you will be able to create a storage pool, and I used the RAID 5 as you can see over here. And yeah, I just created a share and everything. But problem number one, it does not detect the USB 4 Thunderbolt 4 storage that is connected to it. So I don't know what the reason is, but it does not detect it. And I can, as you can see, it's not here, right? And I can't use it to create a device, but it's not an issue in the disk because look at this. If I do fdisk, you are going to see my, I'm gonna find it, hold on a second. So you see these are Samsung ones, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, there's going to be 4. Yeah, here you go. PNY 2 terabyte, that's this USB 4. Let me open it. There you go. So this is the USB 4 PNY storage that I inserted in there. And it's supposed to be very, very fast, okay? But for whatever reason, I do not see that in here and I cannot use it for storage and RAID or anything. And it's not in the settings because I enabled it. So I have it use allowed, but it does not work. I believe it is waiting for a USB 3 storage. So USB 3 storage over there, theoretically there's 10 gigabit Ethernet, 10 gigabit speed in that USB 3 port, but I prefer this. This is 40 gigabit per second speed and USB 4, and there's 2. So theoretically, I can use 4 NVMe SSD on this device plus 2 Thunderbolt, and with an adapter, something like this, I can connect 2 more NVMe SSDs and get more out of it. But yeah, unfortunately, it is not detecting it. So that's problem number 1. So problem number 2, if I Google download, right, UGREEN NAS download, okay? If I Google UGREEN NAS download, this is the NAS download page, which is also, by the way, in the apps, there are some references to it, but it doesn't work and it's not found. Anyway, so if you go here, you see the Android, it is dropping the APK right there. So that I don't like, but I downloaded the Windows app and I can't say it's anything fancy, but you see it scans the LAN and it finds the device and I can connect to it, and it is the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing as the web app. So if you don't want to use the web browser, you can use their desktop app, which honestly I think is like a web view desktop app. Maybe they are using Flutter or something like that. I didn't dig deep into it, but it's like a web browser and it loads the NAS interface in your desktop app. If you want, you can go with that. If you don't want, you can go with the Chrome or whatever browser is your favorite, Firefox, whatever, okay? And then I created a fast data as storage. Now, if we want to do a quick speed test, as you can see, this is my test, this is my desktop, and this is the fast data, 172.16.113, it's this NAS. If I copy the file from my computer to the NAS, as you can see, 285 megabyte per second, that's the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet on my computer. This is my computer where I'm recording the videos from. That's limitation is on me. It's on my client device. So that it doesn't go above this, okay? But now let's switch to my other main workstation computer that I use daily. That one does have 10 gigabit Ethernet, and let's do a speed test over there and see how fast it is doing. And also let's try the Crystal Disk benchmark, okay? Let's go over there. Okay, as you can see, this is the same NAS, 172.16.113. And I mounted it to W drive, as you can see, that's the letter. And I did a Crystal Disk benchmark, and this is the result. So I'm getting 800 and 600 write speeds and read speeds, okay? It is not capping the Ethernet, 10 gigabit Ethernet. And I have a true NAS on the very same network, and I'm getting 1.1 gigabit per second write and read speeds. So this is the result. And if I copy a file, test 10, if I copy it over here, as you can see, it is going like 600 megabyte per second. It is not reaching the limits of 10 gigabit per second, and it's even dropping. So yeah, 500-600, that's always what I'm getting, right? But that's not what I wanted to see. I was having higher expectations. But I can show you something else. So if I bring up my own NAS, okay, the true NAS that I have, okay, so if I have, this is my own NAS, and this is on the Z mapped network, as you can see. If I copy the very same, not from the NAS, from my desktop, if I copy the very same file and copy it to my NAS, as you can see, this is the speed. Okay, so that's my real true NAS that I'm using every day. That's my work stuff. Okay, so that's the computer. This computer that I'm recording from does have that capability, but this UGREEN NAS is not capping the 10 gigabit Ethernet connection. Okay, now let's go back to the other computer. Okay, so we are back over here. As you saw there, we are not getting the 10 gigabit Ethernet connection speed read and write, right, in the disk benchmark or in the sandbox copy. So one thing came to my mind was, okay, let's go to the control panel, let's go to the network, let's go to the network connection, click on edit, and go down here and set the MTU to 9000 in jumbo frames, but it is not there, and it's not allowing me to do it. And I wanted to ignore this and forcefully do it from the terminal with the IP link command. Don't do it. So as soon as I did it, my network connection dropped. It stopped working completely. So don't do it. And it doesn't allow user to do it. So probably there is some reason behind it or some checks. And when I do 9000, it just stops working. I don't know. But that's another recommendation that I have for the team UGREEN to fix this. Maybe I could have gotten better speeds in the Sambo transfer if they had the MTU 9000, maybe, okay? So I'm not capping my 10 gigabit full duplex Ethernet connection. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? Another nice thing that I see in here, there is a security stuff in here. So you can enable, there's some, cross-site request forgery, CSRF, protection. There's some HTTP security content headers. Obviously, you're not going to host this on the internet, but it's good to have these stuff. There is also some firewall, maybe not the best intuitive UI, but you can allow or deny connection from certain hosts in your network, from certain ports or IP addresses. That's nice to see in the NAS. That's there. There is the good stuff that I want to show you that is here in the App Center. So in the App Center, you can install various apps. So DLNA apps or, the Photos app that I installed. But the most important one to me was this Docker, okay? So if you launch the Docker interface, I love this. It's very clean UI. All around, it's a clean UI, but this is amazing, right? I like it. So basically, you can go to image. You can see the BitTorrent, Nginx, Ubuntu, Transmission, MB, Plex, Jellyfin. It's right there. Single click. You click on it and it starts, okay? So that's the image. What I did was I clicked on Ubuntu and it pulls and puts it in here, and you can see Ubuntu image, and you can click on click and create VMs and deploy the Docker images, okay? So I already deployed that same Ubuntu image twice, and as you can see, it is up and running. So what you can do is when you're creating an image, right, you can click on create and give it a name and RAM and CPU limits, but also you can share a network and mount a folder, right? You can share a folder in your NAS, right, in your where you have your data in your NAS. You can share that with the container and mount it in / let's say MNT NAS. So you can mount your NAS storage and make it available to the Docker containers that are going to run in your environment, in your server, in your NAS, and you can make it read-only or read-write permission, okay? Let me show you what I'm talking about. And if I clear the screen and do Docker PS, okay, so it's not running after reboot. Okay, let's go back here, container, okay, turn it on, okay, and turn it on. So we started to Ubuntu Docker PS, and settings over here. Let's see, update, close, all that stuff, process log, terminal. Okay, so this is, yeah, here you go. That's what I wanted to show you. I already did that in that fast data test 1, 2, 3. I made it and mounted it. So if you go to here, test 1, 2, 3, you're going to see that test file over there. Now let's do that. This is in the Ubuntu 2 image, right? Now let's go to SSH, do a Docker PS again. You're going to see the Docker 2, Ubuntu 2 and Ubuntu 1. So if I do Docker exec and do the Ubuntu 2 one, okay, and do a bash, we are dropped. We are now inside the Docker, inside the Ubuntu 2. And if I go to MNT, I'm gonna see the NAS. If I go inside the NAS, I'm gonna see that test.txt. You see, I mounted test123 folder, not the top folder. So if I do echo technically unsure into unsure.txt, and if I go back over here, I'm gonna see that, and if I open it, I'm gonna see the content, okay? So you can run a Docker container, map your network's NAS storage with the Docker guest, and use whatever you want to do. What that gives you, I will give you one example, PhotoPrism. I keep bringing it up in my videos because I love that project. I'm using PhotoPrism in my environment, in my home lab, and I'm using Jellyfin, I'm using Plex. So you can mount the whole NAS or a folder, right? You can go to your NAS, right? You can go here and create a folder, right? You can say movies, okay? And now mount this movies folder to the Plex container, to the Plex Docker, okay? So your Plex Docker will see that movie folder, and Qubit Torrent will download the movies, put it in that movies folder, and Plex will automatically index and load them. You see that? That you can do that, okay? Keep that in mind. So yeah, this Docker thing is very clean, very nice. You can go with the multimedia angle, or you can go with like even enterprise angle. You can install a Docker for like Graylog, right? And turn this into a super fast logging in your enterprise network. You can do that. Put like 8 terabyte, 4 times 32 gigabyte terabyte storage with the redundancy, 16 terabyte, and then you can have a super fast logging device in your environment. And you can take this on the road with yourself when you're traveling. Let's summer is coming up, right? You want to keep your movies with you, pull your Plex, your Jellyfin with you every hotel you go. There you go, okay? So it is very easy to set up, very user-friendly, interface is nice, and there's also this task manager I really like. It just shows you the usage and consumption of like resources in your system. You can keep an eye on this. You see the utilization of the GPU and the CPU and the network, very nice. And control panel, overall, it was very easy to use. I like it. I usually don't like proprietary software, but I'm gonna give them a pass. This is nice. This is usable, especially if you're not really like, and very pro user. You just want something that just works. I think this is it. You flip it over, install 4 NVMe SSDs, you power it on, you update the firmware, first thing you need to do, and then everything starts working. So my recommendation to Team UGREEN, if they are watching, so number one, please put somewhere on the box, here or somewhere on the website that whoever buys this, they need to update the firmware first thing. Because a lot of things, the UI is all Chinese, the admin panel is not working properly, the fan was nagging, a lot of other problems. I installed the firmware update, everything started working. So that's number one. Number two, please allow users to change the MTU to 9000 and jumbo frames. This is 1500 is okay, but I think if I went with 9000, I could have gotten better, faster, file transfers, maybe. So let me at least have that option, okay? Show warnings if you're worried that user's gonna mess up something, but let me use 9000 MTU if I need to. Another recommendation that I have is fixing this. I could not get USB 4, Thunderbolt 4 storage to show up in the storage manager. Please fix that. Another problem that I noticed is that my Wi-Fi, and I can't be the only one, my Wi-Fi network is on a different VLAN than my Ethernet and trusted cable connections, right? My Wi-Fi, I don't know, somebody can sit on the street on a car and connect to my Wi-Fi, crack the password. I know it's long, it's complicated, it's good, but still, I don't know, someone might connect, right? But Ethernet is physical, right? So my physical connections are on a secure LAN, VLAN, and my Wi-Fi is on some little bit untrusted network. It does not access a lot of things that I don't want it to have access to. So whatever, I just connected this to Ethernet and I tried to use the mobile app to set this up. Does not work because they are not on the same VLAN. So I hated Unify for doing that, but Unify removed the manual IP address adding in the Unify controller, Unify Protect camera app. Please unify, don't be a unify, you know, just let users enter the IP address manually. If you are concerned that people are gonna connect to other people's NAS devices, check for the IP address to be LAN address, right? If it is 10.000, 172.16.00 or 192.168.00, allow that, let that go through, okay? So just my recommendation, allow users to do that. Fix the USB 4, enforce the firmware update yourself or on the box or somewhere, let the users know. A lot of problems they're experiencing are going to be fixed with the firmware update. And yeah, and also please list your Android app in Google Play Store. I do not like recommending to not so expert you know, users to just go online, download APKs, go to your phone settings and allow unknown sources installation and install some random APKs they see on the internet. That's overall not a good practice. Do not enforce it, do not suggest it, do not recommend that. You're right now doing that. Put your app in the Google Play Store. I don't know why it's not even there right now, but just do it, okay? Overall, CPU is not throttling, it's very fast. Looks and works properly as advertised. And this is not fingerprint resistant. I wish it were, but it's okay, it's manageable. And yeah, I would recommend you know, UGREEN to listen to what I suggested, but otherwise it is absolutely noiseless. There's no noise whatsoever. It's very fast, 600 megabyte write and read. And you will be able to carry this around if you're doing multimedia editing on the go, you're traveling, you're a video editor or something like that, you will be able to use this. Yeah, I think this is a very good NAS. I didn't see any obvious issues with it. Yeah, overall, I think it is good for the people who need something like this. A portable, small, lightweight, noiseless, quiet NAS that they can put on their shelf under the TV or take it on the road for their travel to do video editing or watching their videos on the hotels or whatever, right? There's so many uses for everyone. And you can even use this for like enterprise applications. As I said, you can turn this into a logging device, okay? Yeah, I think the setup was pretty straightforward and that worked very well. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any recommendation, questions, or suggestions, please let me know in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.